For the last time, Red, I will not show you my dick. Oh, hey, everybody. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Wood. I'm glad you could jump on my wood. It's going to be a hard, throbbing, fast, pulsating show. Enough dick jokes. Okay. Hello, everybody. Good morning. And first, I want to start off with a couple of things. Make sure you check out tomorrow's channel. This one
is dead. Forget this one. Wait for tomorrow.
I can't wait till this one's kind of dead because this is my backup channel, and because I got suspended on the main channel. But anyways, tomorrow's stream show we'll have Magog and Hellbent, and that'll be good. And then Thursday, Captain Kirsch is coming back. Everybody's excited about that. She's like the most requested guest that we've had to come back. Everybody loves her because she's hot. She got titties and butt, and it's just nice. But anyways. Yeah, do that. And also remember, at the end of this show, we'll do Q&A, the last 10, 15 minutes. Tips. Help me pay my electric bill. Anyways, that's it for now. Let's introduce the people up here on this panel. We are joined, as always, with my buddy, my Australian retard sidekick, Red Eye. What's happening?
There you go, boss.
And also, for the first time on the show, my buddy, my good friend D. What's happening?
I'm doing good. What is up, everyone? Yeah. Happy to be here.
Yeah. And also, the first time on the show, Wizard of Calls. Did I call you Wizard or is there a name?
Nick. That's fine.
Nick?
Yeah, that's my name.
I'll call you Big Daddy Dick Nick.
There we go. I got that Big Nick energy. Fuck, I need booze before I do this. God damn.
Yes, you do. To talk to me, you need booze. To talk to me, you definitely need alcohol and lots of meth.
I'm just short the meth, man. That's all I'm missing.
Well, that's okay. Red does the meth.
I've been stream drinking for so long though that I've actually started to grow really curious as to what exactly like an over caffeinated stream would be like for me.
Oh, that would be interesting. You know what you ought to do is get like 12 pots of coffee, like 30 fucking monster drinks, and 12 Red Bulls.
Just go to 7-Eleven and get those really you could tell that these things came out as soon as they were banning like trucker ephedrine. So instead they have these little creamer cups. It's like pure caffeine and methamphetamine. Do you like your organs? Would you like to get intimately acquainted with every one of them? It's a great way to do that.
Hell yeah.
You guys ever tried no-dos?
Oh God!
I've heard of them.
These are little caffeine pills that you get seduced into using whenever you join the military because they never let you fucking sleep. So I got hooked on these no-dose pills, but I learned real quick that I couldn't handle that shit. So what happens to me when I overdose on caffeine, which is kind of like what we're talking about? It turns out I cry and I call my mom. Like I had the worst panic attack. Induced by no-dos, and I called my mom crying, dude. It was embarrassing.
See, that's my problem. I couldn't be a meth head or anything like that because uppers make me go crazy. I'm a downer type of guy. I like to feel like, I don't like to feel, I can't do that, man. I go fucking nuts. I'll rip your fucking face off like a mad monkey at a zoo. I'm crazy, dude, when I'm on that shit.
That's why back in the day I always found what is it? Just gonna, in the words of Philly D, just gonna jump right into this cocaine. I was a big fan of cocaine.
Oh dear God!
No, it's
the funniest thing though, is because like people have this perception that coke is like this zing 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 shit from the movies. It's like no, that's PCP.
Yeah,
cocaine just makes you think you're cooler than you are.
Yeah, it's cocaine makes you think you're 10 foot fucking tall, you're bulletproof, and that any woman that you talk to will instantly want to sleep with you. You just
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, if you have a lot of it, a lot of women will sleep with you.
Well, see, I lucked out because, I live in this tiny, shitty little city. So if you're friends with any of the criminal elements in a town this small, you pretty much know all of them. Yeah. One of my oldest friends, let's say, and this is he's already paid for it and gone to prison and shit, but he decided to become an entrepreneur in the cocaine trade.
Very nice.
And kind of worked out for him for a little bit. And we just have but back when Blockbuster had the movie pass, this is how dated this fucking reference is. Yeah, it'd be get out of work, go get 3 DVDs, a rack of beers, and then just do cocaine all night. Wow, the life of a furniture salesman.
See, all the criminal element is my family around this town. So, yeah. I mean,
one cousin who's a cop, and that's why half of us only get arrested 30% of the time.
dude, I live in a town that's so small. If you fart, everybody smells it. I mean, I'm serious. It's bad. It's so small, but you can't get fucking weed anywhere. But all you gotta do is open your door and say meth, and it's everywhere. It's like fucking the capital around here, dude. That
sounds like the worst place you could possibly live.
It's not though. It's kind of fun.
You have no weed. That sounds just horrible.
I'm just
I've been on a stream with Pimp once, and I swear to God, this like it's what was it, about 1 a.m,
Yeah.
and I hear Pimp go, "Some motherfucker in my backyard." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And he says, "God, I got to go sort this shit out," and he disappears for like 2 minutes. I'm like, "Is he just fucking?" When he comes back, he says, "Some motherfucker from down the street, one of these fucking houses where some people just moved in. He's coming up. He's going, 'Hey man, you got any meth?'" It's like fucking hell, man. Wow.
It's entertaining. It's see, because I'm always, look, like I said, I'm a down type of guy, so I'm always mellow. So I sit here and laugh my ass off with all these fucking freaks running down the road, scratching at their skin.
Just go back inside and just fill a plastic bag. Just be like, "Yeah, man, I got you. Don't worry. Wait right here." You go inside, you fill a plastic bag halfway up with Comet, and just be like, "I got you, boo. Don't come back. Do this far away from here."
They take the shit off of batteries and put it in that shit. I mean,
that happened in Australia a couple of decades ago, like 20 years ago. I remember someone was killing junkies by doing that, though. He was just scraping the crystals off the battery terminals and putting it in vials and selling it to junkies, and they'd shoot that shit up and dead.
God,
and I've had one really weird experience. One day I backed my car out of the driveway and I noticed there was a guy walking across the road. He was sort of walking along, and he had this, like, a kid that wouldn't have been no older than 2 years old. And he sort of stops because he sees me coming out my front door, and I get in my car. I'll back out and I start driving off, and he weighs me down. I wind down my window, go, "Yeah, mate, how can I help?" He says, "Hey, dude, can you score me some weed?" And I'm like, I've never met this guy before in my life, and he's standing there with this 2-year-old kid, and I'm just like, all I could think of was, pro tip, mate, next time you go looking for weed, don't take your kid with you. It's not a fucking good look. And I just drove off and left him standing there.
What's that shit they spray on ceilings? This knotted up and shit.
The tobacco, like?
Yeah, something like that.
Spackle finish.
Well, my cousin back in the day, she was a crack dealer, right? So she scraped a bunch of these things off the fucking ceiling. She tinted them yellow to make it look like crack rock, and she sold the shit. She ended up getting stabbed because of
what the fuck? They knew, dude. They knew.
Yeah, they figured it out. When they tried to smoke it, they figured it out.
See, what kind of I don't know.
Wait, they actually tried to smoke it?
Yeah, dude. She sold it to me. It looked just like crack rock. And
then
then
they walked away, and then they came back all pissed.
Yeah, and stabbed her ass.
Well, that's not quite as hilarious as the ones where you hear, like, the dude calls the cops because he gets sold fake dope.
Oh, yeah.
Rip me off. There's like, "Oh, please bring your fake dope in and bring some real dope so we can compare it. And we'd love to, like, work with you on this." Motherfucker just goes down and gets popped for it. Now,
He's
around
like,
here,
down there. Come on, officer. I'll show you the gentleman.
This is like here. It's New Hampshire up here, so like the state likes to pretend that it's like, "Oh no, it's just a lovely vacation spot. Nothing going on here." We had there was back when I was in college, I was actually studying criminal justice, so I was like learning from cops, local like sheriffs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was telling a story about the time that he helped bust a mobile meth lab, which was actually just built in this dude's Honda Civic, and he would legit. He'd just start the shit cooking with like fucking like camping grills and shit, and he'd just drive around thinking like, as long as I'm mobile, they'll never catch me. Now that died out. Now it's been actually, we had I think it was Jeff Sessions was up here like last week, and he's like, "We're gonna crack down on these hard drugs," because tiny sleepy little New Hampshire has like I think the worst heroin problem in the country, like per capita. So much so, like when we got heroin. Heroin started exploding here, and recently, and nowhere else in the country was like really noticing. And then it exploded all over the country, and they're like, "Oh my god, heroin!" And we're like, "We got fentanyl now. Catch up." And then no, even weirder than that. Even though people are like dropping like flies, like I'd walk downtown to go get a drink down at the pub, and I'd say every other night, there'd be like an ambulance, a meat wagon there, basically picking up a junkie corpse out of the park because he was popping fentanyl in his veins. And then when that became passe and the rest of the country caught on, like the good white hipsters we are, we adopted carfentanil, which is like 10 times stronger. It's like, yeah, that's right, guys. You just use less because that's how dope works, right?
Yeah.
Economy.
Yeah.
We always do exactly the amount of dope we plan on doing because we're so responsible. We never
up East Coast way. Y'all do at least y'all do the drugs that are a little bit not so white trailer trash. But meth, that is like the dirtiest, trashiest fucking drug, dude.
That's Florida. That's Florida. It's like Florida man's breakfast right there.
Yeah, dude.
Just a quick question.
Rape an alligator. He's gonna get himself some. He's gonna get himself some good like meth. Just sprinkle it on his cereal. Get ready to face the day, man.
Oh, fucking bath salts.
Just want to ask, the fentanyl and that other drug that you mentioned, they're produced by pharmaceutical companies and not street level drug dealers. And
you can trust them. Yeah, you're right. So you can trust them.
Yeah, you trust them.
So Jeff Sessions is up there going, we're going to fucking nail these hard drug deals, and the problem's pharmaceutical drugs being produced by pharmaceutical fucking companies. Nice one, Mr. Sessions. What are you going to go and spank the corporation's monkey, or just take more fucking lobbyist money off them? Jesus Christ.
Actually, I'm looking up right now to find out how much he got from them.
Probably got a shitload.
Somebody made a joke about legalizing or whatever. Actually, I wish they would legalize all drugs because it would make them way much safer.
Oh, I don't know if I'd want to see people running around on angel dust. That's not something I think society should tolerate. It's like when you hear stories of people being shot more than like a mag dump from a Glock 17 and they still keep coming at the officer going,
I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's good. But at least you can regulate it a whole lot better.
I will concede the point.
How much better the fucking product would be. Like
exactly. The product will be safer. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's, but I'm just saying people gonna do it anyway.
Well, the thing, I mean, you take places throughout Europe, or even like experiments that we've had in other places where they establish sort of a tolerance policy. Like if you're a junkie, they're not gonna fucking pop you and imprison you and shit. Yeah. And it was funny because I remember talking to this European cat I was working with years and years ago, and he pointed out, he's like, yeah, we're not as hard on drugs there because we don't make it a taboo, so nobody thinks it's like an edgy, rebellious thing to go out and get addicted to smack. Yeah, they're like, he's like, I never understand why you Americans romanticize junkies so much. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, Kurt Cobain. He starts listening off all these artists and writers, and it's like, yeah, we really do kind of like, we paint the junkie like, as long as they're creative. If you're creative and you're addicted to smack, then you're like this pained artist. Yeah. If you're a normal smackhead, you're just a scumfuck.
I blame Nancy Reagan.
I blame Nancy Reagan for shit all the time. I couldn't find my keys yesterday, and it was like, fucking Nancy.
The bitch came out and just say no. It's her fault.
Amsterdam had a pretty good go at it. Like, this is going back a while back now, but I remember there was a problem in Amsterdam. The parks there, it would snow syringes. You'd go, they'd just show photos. There's hundreds of syringes littering the ground. It was fucking really bad. So that's
awful.
They decriminalized it, and they did a bunch of things. And number one was they'd offer the people on heroin accommodation. They'd offer them their drugs so they could go down to the dispensary and get their fix. And what they found was rapidly that over a 12-month period, half the people that went into this program would give up drugs of their own free will. Prostitution levels dropped down to fucking basically fuck all compared to what they were before, because girls weren't having to prostitute themselves to get their heroin. They'd go down the dispensary. And even the people that were living there that stayed on heroin, a vast majority of them held down jobs, right? So they learned to become functioning part of society when they weren't criminalized for their behavior. And it turns out that well-regulated heroin distribution systems can help people get off the drug, or at worst case scenario, manage them to a point where they're not stealing everything that's not nailed down out of your house, which benefits your society.
That's what I was basically saying. It can be regulated a whole lot better and everything. I mean, is it a good thing? No, it's not.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that, hey, let's just do that, but it's a lesser evil to have a well-regulated, and I'm not saying all drugs. I will say heroin, it looks like in that case it did work. I don't know about other drugs. You'd have to do case studies on each one of them. But it seemed
Portugal a few years back decriminalized like pretty much all possession and use. Like if you're selling it, you're trafficking it, yeah, they'll come after you for that. But like they decriminalized use across the board and found pretty much across the board use dropped, because when do people really start experimenting with drugs? When they're young. And a lot of times they start doing it around the same time where it's this, rebellious attitude that they get. Like, I'm going to rebel. I'm going to do the opposite of what they tell me. And this comes after they go through the DARE program, which tells them, like, if you smoke one marijuana cigarette, you'll be stealing radios to pay for your heroin habit. Like, and then,
awesome, right? When you're a kid. Yeah.
And then they get to high school or junior high or whatever. They smoke some weed. They discover they're not addicted. They discover, like, wow, I'm not sucking dick in a public bathroom. Well, I mean, at least not to get drugs. Yeah. And then it's like, well, they lied to me about this. What else they lied to me about? You know what? I bet you Crystal Drano tastes beautiful on the drip. And boom, there you go.
So what you should tell them is getting a job is bad.
Getting a job, taking care of your shit. Your parents will hate you.
Be responsible.
Really make something of yourself, kid.
It sucks to be responsible.
For the record, before he was appointed Attorney General, Jeff Sessions in 2016 took $32,000 in total from the pharmaceutical industry. 2,600 of that was individual donations. 29.5 grand was from PACs. So not the biggest contributor to his war chest, but pretty big. I love this shit. OpenSecrets.org and Maplight.org. If you ever want to find out like what a sitting member of Congress, like who they're beholden to, that's where you go. Because they've got like widgets and shit that show like not only who the biggest contributors are in their industries, but also how that ties into votes that were cast.
Yeah. I'm like Red, dude. I wish our politicians would wear their fucking people on their suits like fucking NASCAR drivers do.
Yep.
I think just acknowledging the sickening amount of money that's getting spent, because it's every single year it just gets more and more and more expensive.
Oh yeah.
And it's just incredible when you look at the amount of money that's actually spent for like somebody to win, and usually the person who spends the most money wins.
I'm about to run for state rep here. Actually, I've filed and everything, and it's actually funny as shit because I noticed like I never get shit for mail because fuck the mail. Who cares? But as soon as I filed the paperwork to become a candidate for office, I started getting. I think I've got at least 2 letters from like the Friends of Gun Owners. I got like 3 from like family friendly economies. I'm like, what is this shit? I didn't sign up for this. I signed up to abolish car inspection.
Oh, speaking of gun owners, did you see what happened to the NRA? How unfortunate. Turns out a Russian agent has just been charged because she was basically she got right in amongst the NRA and she was up to no good apparently. It's like
you probably really like drugs. Sorry, not drugs, guns. That's the thing. Whatever.
Narcotics Rifles Association.
They were probably trying to bring over guns made out of drugs.
That would be there is like a totally drug crazed NRA group that's all about like individual liberty to the extreme. We should be able to put our heroin and guns at the same time.
They're called Sovereign Citizens, yeah.
Oh shit!
What do you think they call it? Shooting heroin.
The fucking sovereigns and the Moors, 2 of my favorite things to be seen a police dog chewing upon. I swear, nothing brings me so much joy seeing a sovereign citizen go, I do not consent, I do not consent. And then you hear a taser be deployed and they go,
It's obvious that Red doesn't live in America because the things that our dogs chew on are black people.
Oh, that's usually a more.
That was a bad joke. Sorry, that was a bad joke.
You reminded me of a clip where there's a dog and it's biting down on I think it's a black person too in the video, and the dog won't let go. Like there's the freaking cop is like trying to get the dude off of the suspect because they're trying to cuff him and shit, and the dog's just like.
Well, you got a whole meal there. You got fried chicken and watermelon, dude. It's tasty.
That dog was approaching retirement, and he wanted to make sure that he got enough collars to qualify for the correct level of pension.
Collars.
That's right. Look,
that dog was 2 days away from retirement. God damn it.
Here's the deal with Bork Nom Noms. From day one, when they get into the fucking police academy, it's like, all right, Bork Nom Noms, this is your job. You are now a meat-seeking fur missile. When you are deployed, your only job is to bite the fucking shit out of the thing that we are talking to you in German about. When we start going, it's like fucking the Bork Nom Noms goes in. They are literally that's all they're trained to do is to bite and fucking bite. And they're supposed to let go when you say a certain word. Sometimes Bork Nom Noms get so excited at work. It's like you wanting to do a bit of overtime. Nothing more. The dog's just putting a little bit of OT. It's a good police officer. Don't hold nothing against Bork Nom Noms.
I'm stupid. What the fuck are you calling them Bork Nom Noms for?
A police dog. That's the name of the dog. I'm sorry. I will make the bullet right now. I'm stealing Bork Nom Noms from Donut Operator.
It's a Bork Popo, really, though.
Bork Popo Nom Noms.
Yeah,
I thought they were just fucking German shepherds or something.
Well, when I was growing up in this smaller bedroom town, just to the south of where I am now, we had, everybody knew we all were skateboarders, so naturally we all knew the cops by name and hated every one of them. And apparently it got around that we discovered that the dog's release command was Berliner, but you had to say it with a deep and booming kind of cop voice.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was just because one of the kids was neighbors with the canine officer, who, funny enough, he actually only got the dog because this is the glory of police unions. This motherfucker was orca fat. We're talking beyond comical cop fat. He needed steel braces on his legs to help, they were trusses. and yeah, so they kept trying to force him out because the motherfucker couldn't run, could barely fucking walk or anything. And they're like, well, shit, we can't fire him because his union contract. Fuck it, give him the dog. Dog will do the work. Quality policing, fellas. The Pinkertons would be proud.
The Pinkertons. So I wish the Pinkertons were still around. I don't know why I said that.
They are. I worked for them.
Really?
Yeah, well, no, Securitas Security. You've probably seen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That same company owns Pinkerton. Pinkerton is now the investigation wing of the Securitas Corporation, who bought Pinkerton. I forget how long ago.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, when I was a security guard with Securitas for a while, and they'd give me these side contracts, side jobs with Pinkerton, to do random ass insurance surveillance. Or you go to a big stadium game and you walk around and try and buy beer without an ID. I fucking hated those ones though, because you'd catch someone and then you'd be doing the report in the basement and you'd see them being escorted out sorry.
Oh damn!
Gotta make some money.
That's what the Pinkertons are doing now. They used to go out and shoot cattle rustlers, and now they're making sure that everyone's getting carded when they're buying a $19 beer at a hockey game.
Damn. Well,
how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, mighty have.
Let the kids fucking drink. That's all I've got to say, man. They're stressed. They need it.
Have you ever been to an arena football game? You need fucking beer to sip.
I have been to one actually. I sure have, and they kind of suck. The stadium does anyway. The people. I agree with D though. I think we should give 10-year-olds vodka.
Yeah. We should celebrate their birth with a shot. Just pour some Jack Daniels into their mouth just right away.
Well, you guys saw the Sacha Baron Cohen trolls he did recently, right? Like,
Heard about him. I didn't see him, but I have heard about him.
he went in, I mean, and like, you take like all the previous characters, Borat and Bruno, it was always just him in a costume, and you could tell it was him. These ones, like, he really went like full fucking like bad grandpa prosthetics for these interviews, and he got a bunch of like right wing commentators and legislators and people like that to back a plan to give kindergartners guns, because the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a good kid with a gun. He was even designing handguns into like fuzzy little like plushy toys, and they're like, all you do, Junior, is pull the string and shoot the bad guy.
Dude, wow. I saw Kyle Kalinske did a video on that. I saw that video today, and he played the individual clips of these guys talking about, like, yeah, I totally agree with this idea. The only thing that's gonna stop a bad toddler with a gun is a good toddler with a gun. Like, and there was only one guy. There was only one guy who was like, wait, you want me to say arm the shit? No. Like, there's only one fucking guy who said that shit. He got all of them except one.
Well, that's the kind of. Have you ever seen the Yes Men?
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
No. No, it's they're actually like they're what most of the people on like Twitter, for instance, would class as like, oh, they're just commies, right? They're like super progressive, like yet anti-globalist kind of anarchist kids. I don't know. But they're funny as fuck, and they run these great trolls, and they produce these documentaries, and in one of them, so the story goes, there was a company called Union Carbide that manufactured pesticide. They put a big plant up in Bhopal, India, because there's no regulations and they could exploit the workforce, blah, blah, blah. Safety protocols failed. There was a big explosion. Like 2,000 people died. And like to this day, like 20-something years later, like thousands and thousands of people still get sick from all the pesticides in the ground. Dow Chemical bought Union Carbide years back, said, like, we're going to make things right. And they paid $12 million in asbestos claimants in Texas, and that was it. So these guys, they set up a dummy website that looked just like Dow.com, but every article was just shit talking the company. BBC, in their laziness, tried to contact Dow Chemical on the anniversary of the Bhopal explosion. They ended up getting the Yes Men. So these guys sit down on BBC World, fake name, little suit, and he says on live TV in front of, I think, like 4 million people worldwide, that Dow Chemical is going to liquidate its holdings in Union Carbide and pledge $2.3 billion to remediate the site at Bhopal. Those guys lost like $4 billion in stock price that day. And then they came out and they're like, this was a cruel hoax. I was like, on who? Dow Chemical? I think they'll be okay. Call it a hunch. Yeah, you see, I mean, like, it's, we see on the regular, people controlling people in real life when it comes to politics. It's not difficult.
No, it's easy.
Yeah. Union Carbide gave Australia a little gift too. They used to manufacture batteries at a place called Homebush Bay, where we had the Olympics in the year 2000. But there was a change in legislation, and it was going to allow the Australian government to backdate for environmental damage. And it turns out that they were pumping some pretty toxic shit into Sydney Harbour, and the whole bay, there was about 3 foot of toxic sludge that had to be removed. And Union Carbide got wind of the legislative change, and they fucking shut the fucking thing down and pulled out of the country and fucked off like a week before the fucking laws come into effect, so they could get away with it all and just shutter the joint. It's like Union Carbide are fucking Satan.
Yeah,
they really are.
They're like Johnson & Johnson. I would trust them with my own firstborn's health. Sterling examples of a fine company doing God's work and killing God created.
Yeah.
Did they just have a big major recall of Johnson & Johnson baby powder?
Well, apparently there's been allegations if there's asbestos fibers in the fucking talcum powder. It's just like,
well, if we don't put it there, what are we going to do when all those poor asbestos farmers go out of work?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's true.
I mean, like, we're talking, that's a growth industry for Detroit. Why are you going to take that away?
Why are you taking our jobs?
And we should just give that powder to the Mexicans anyway.
Like, hey, we need somebody to manufacture poison, but we don't want to pay them.
Hold on a
Mexico,
second.
free trade. I love it.
Asbestos is a naturally occurring fiber. It's like it's totally natural, man. It's cool. What's all the big hoopla about? It's like, calm down, everyone. It's just a natural fiber.
It's an
Doesn't
herb.
hurt you. It doesn't hurt you. No,
It's
but
not
look,
an herb,
they wanted to. There's a company called Boral, and they basically do all sorts of shit for housing, building, and all. And they have a rock quarry, and there's about 5 years supply left in their existing quarry. What they wanted to do was move across the other side of the freeway onto the mountain that I look up to every morning and start blowing the fucking top of it off, digging down for blue metal road base. Now, here's the problem. In the area, guess what's naturally occurring all through the area? Fucking asbestos. So they're going to detonate this shit into particle-sized fucking bits so it floats down and covers everything that we own.
Oh, just crop dust the community in asbestos. That's a good idea.
Here's the best bit. The New South Wales fucking manager of Boral stated this. He said, communities and quarries don't mix. The Queensland fucking manager went, we want to slap a rock quarry between 2 schools and 3 fucking separate fucking communities, basically 3 different fucking, it's like Tallabudra, Mudgeeraba, and Tallabudra Valley. We're all going to get dusted with this shit. 7 fucking years, millions of dollars, and we finally just beat them in the in the highest court in the state. Now they're threatening to take it to a federal court.
Wow.
It's just like they're pieces of shit, and they're all in the name of the mighty dollar. And they know for a fact, and they tried to deny that there's asbestos fiber naturally occurring in the area. They went, no, there's not, and they took in some third-party testers who went, drill asbestos, shut up.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and they went, oops.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Companies are fucking evil at times.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
They don't give a fuck. If they think there's a dollar in it, they'll do it.
Yeah, look, back in I think it was the 80s, that one company that was, what was it? It was in the water system. I think it was in New Jersey. They were putting some kind of metal or something in the water. This company was just dumping shit, and it was making people sick. It made a movie about it. John Travolta played the lawyer. I can't remember what the fuck it was, but it's killing people. That's right. And they denied that shit up and down, and it was proved, and they still fucking won the case.
Jesus,
dude, that's fucking crazy.
I do believe they won the case, if I'm not mistaken.
What's the other? There's Flint. Like that problem should have been fixed a long time ago.
Oh, dude! And you heard about Elon, right? I think it's Elon Musk who's going, who's working with that shit. He's trying to like spend his fucking money to give them filters or some shit.
Yeah. Elon, did you hear Elon's latest? About I think it was a day or 2 ago. Elon's made a comment on Twitter talking to one of the British divers that was involved in rescuing the kids from the cave, and Elon's called the guy a pedo.
Oh,
right?
shit.
Well, no, it gets way better. And I've typed it on Twitter. That's going to be a costly little fucking outburst from Elon there. 2 days later, $2 billion has melted off the value of Tesla. $2 billion fucking dollars. He's tried to delete the tweet, but everyone's gone screenshot, retweet.
Why did he call the guy a pedophile, though? Like, what's the context?
Because the guy said, yeah, your fucking shitty mini sub was never going to work. You're just a PR whore. And so Elon's turned around and said, fuck you, it's going to work. And you're a pedo. And I'm going to get some footage. And it looks like Elon's basically lost his shit completely because he didn't get to be the hero of the day. And fuck Elon Musk. And now his company's $2 billion worse off because he's got a big mouth. So sucked in, Elon. Sucked in. You hyperloop.
That's
hyper dirt.
But isn't he doing something with Flint? I read.
I think so. Yeah.
He hyper derped.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty stupid thing to say, but
yeah, he said it twice, and he didn't say probably. He fucking the insinuation was quite fucking clear. He said, "Yeah, you're a UK bloke living in the Thailand. That's not sus, is it?" He said, "Probably pedo," and then he said the pedo word again in a different tweet. So fuck Elon Musk.
Well, you know what though? To be totally fair to Elon, they do fuck a lot of children in Thailand.
Yeah, Yeah, show us
Like,
the
is a
evidence that
real-
this individual's a fucking pedo, and then we can talk. Until then,
Well, yeah, I get what you said, man, but yeah, they do have streets where they just sell children.
yeah,
but,
I know, but
yeah,
there's
but I know-
pedophiles in every country. If you generalize like that, we're
we're not.
We're
We're
all
not.
fucking.
No.
We're all, yeah.
He was
Yeah.
just making a bad joke.
I'm saying that, look, you could go to Thailand on an average day, walk down the street, and find a kid to
Yeah.
fuck. Like
Yeah.
in America, I think you'd have to try really fucking hard to find someone willing to sell you a kid to fuck.
I'll
In
do it.
Thailand, you could do it in one day very easily.
I'll sell you a kid. You can't fuck it, but I'll sell you a kid.
You're gonna sell me a kid, Pimp? I found one. Here we go.
What you
Elon-
do
Elon
afterwards
Hyperdirt.
is your business.
Yeah, Elon hyperderped, and his big mouth cost him. It melted $2 billion of fucking value off his company. So suck shit.
No, you just shoot a car into space or something, and make up for it. Like, hey, everybody, look over here. Fuck what I just said. His problem is he doesn't go on enough like YouTube live streams to know that, like, when you throw the pedo accusation around, got to have some fake evidence from some random ass blog to back you up on that.
Kiwi
that is-
Farms or something.
And that is a very. Why is that? I mean, well, I know why it is because you want to make people look bad. But you know, people always want to go to the worst two things. You're either a fucking Nazi or you're a pedophile. It's
Because
like,
how are either of those things defensible?
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you notice, like, you take this this alt-right crowd, this ethno-nationalist Richard Dickey Spencer millennial woes type of person. They're
Lex.
or the perhaps the potato farmers from the Canada. You take these people and look, like, they're fucking paltry defenses of shit like fascism. I'm not saying it's the same thing, but they're just as weak as this, like, modern, like, pedophilia is a sexuality, guys. Like, really? Okay.
Oh God, yeah.
It's like, hey, if I recall, there was an ethno state full of pedophilia back in the day. What was it? Wasn't ancient Greece, was it?
Well, they definitely fucked a lot of children in the past. That's true too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kitty fucking in our species history, unfortunately.
Now the EU fucks children simply by destroying their prospects for the next generations. That was a stretch.
That was a bit of a stretch, but anyways.
Well,
Speaking of fucking people over, let's let's talk about Scarlett Johansson. And this really pissed me off. I know you recently did a video, and I did a little bit of a video yesterday about it. And I noticed that me and you both been talking, kind of arguing with people on Twitter about it. So that's the reason I wanted to bring it up.
That's the worst part about it too. I mean, I've been a film actor. Like, I trained in the shit, and I lived around actors and in films and shit. And it's, if people could come out and say, I don't like Scarlett Johansson because she's a shit actress, here's a better option, that'd be great. But you don't get that. Instead, what you get is, it's important for them to see themselves represented. And like, why? Why is that important? When did that become supremely fucking important to where, like, you can look at you can watch a movie, and instead of, like, falling into the story and the performance, they're like, that's like me. Hey, that's like me, right? I feel better about myself. That Shell station's going to get such a good employee tomorrow.
And this whole, like, well, there's so many transgender actors out there, but they want to make money.
Ooh, where?
Exactly. I don't know of a lot of I only know one.
Laverne Cox.
I guess the one that was in that show on Netflix.
Orange is the New Black. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the irony. Here's the irony I found. The woman who plays, the actress who plays, like, the bull dyke on that show, Boo. And despite it being feminist as fuck, I think it's a good show. It's compelling and shit, and the performances are good. But if you look at what Leah Delaria, the actor who plays Boo there, looks like, she dresses like, fucking fly ass suits and shit.
Yeah.
And if you compare a picture of her when she's out and about to a picture of Dante Tex Gill, who was the character Johansson was going to play, that's on the fucking nose.
Yeah.
And it's one of those times in which, like, you're arguing with people who are just thumping their chest as hard as they can, and you're like, why is it that I can make your argument better than you?
Exactly. It's fucking insane. And then, I got it. Well, she doesn't even look, she's a real girl. I'm like, what? She's an actress. And, look, acting is acting like it's what it is. It's acting. You're being something that you're not. You're portraying a role that you're not. Serial killers what do we got to get Jeffrey Dahmer to fucking play a serial killer? I don't know. It's weird. When they
made that film about Winston Churchill, I mean, it was great to see Gary Oldman, but I was really disappointed that they didn't dig up and turn the corpse of Churchill into an animatronic Disney puppet.
Well, yeah. According to these new rules, the next Batman movie must star a young man that was basically orphaned when his parents were brutally murdered in a fucking alleyway by some crazy motherfucker, and he just grows up morbidly depressed and dresses like a bat.
So right now, like half of Pimpmunk's audience is just like, I got a chance to be Batman.
Well, Red could be Batman.
What don't bring that up, boss, please.
Red's adopted, by the way.
No.
I would love to see, I would actually love to see you cast in like a new Batman, but a Christopher Nolan style one. So everyone's all serious and dramatic, and you're like, fuck, dude, Penguin's at it again. God damn it.
Call me Fat Man. I met this chick on a bus one time. Her name was Robin. I took a picture and tweeted Fat Man and Robin. But I would love to be a Batman. But I guess next Spider-Man, somebody's actually got to get bit by a fucking radioactive spider.
They're doing another origin story for him.
Yeah. So I don't really understand what the Scarlett Johansson thing was. I was going to watch the video today, but I was
explain him.
Yeah, well, so it kicked up last week, actually about Monday, Tuesday last week. It was announced that she'd be playing a transgender character named Dante Texgill, who was a real person back in the 70s. It was a trans man in the 70s. Not the easiest time to be trans. And Gill was a fucking hustler, like a straight up pimp, ran a fucking massage parlor / cat house.
Yeah.
And was the more I check in, an interesting fucking character. And so they wrote, and we're going to produce this movie. They cast Johansson in the lead as Gill. And in fairness, she does not look anything like Gill, but whatever. And yeah, the activist community, the perpetual outrage mongery set, they lost their shit about it. And they're like, this is unacceptable. This is erasing trans identity. And you had a lot of people. You had so many people straight up saying, trans roles should only go to trans characters. Yeah. And from there, initially, Johansson's publicist shot back saying, if you've got an issue with this, I'll direct you to the representatives for Jared Leto, Felicity Huffman, and Jeffrey Tambor, all of whom have won awards playing trans characters.
That's so fucking wild.
Yeah, first she tried clapping back. Then at the end of last week, she actually withdrew from the project. She pissed
me off.
Yeah, and the blog
should not have done that. Why did she do that?
Because she didn't want to fucking deal with the bullshit, probably.
Well, she had to deal with the same shit when she did Ghost in the Shell, right? Yeah. Because she was, and it's the same director too, by the way. That directed that movie is directing this movie. So, which just a little side note. But yeah, so she had to deal with so much shit because she wasn't Asian, and so I guess she's just probably fed up with it.
Yeah, and the worst part is she withdrew. My initial thinking was all right, well, they've got the script and production all set. They're going to go ahead with the movie, I hope. Because, again, it's an interesting sounding fucking story. It's an interesting character.
It is.
And I did hope that they'd cast Leah DeLaria in the role because, for one thing, I love her performance in Orange is the New Black. And her performances in general are pretty solid. I'd love to see her star elevated a bit in a role that she fit fit perfectly. And now they're saying they're thinking they might not even be able to make the film in the first place. And somehow a film about a real life transgender person who was an absolute boss and a hustler not getting made is a victory for trans rights and trans acceptance somehow.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so people are claiming it a victory because they got
because they bullied her out of the role, yeah.
And then the next thing they're going to do is like, oh, well, this subject matter is not being addressed enough in film. What the fuck? Well, it's like, dude, you shot yourself in the foot like yesterday. What the fuck are you? What's your problem?
And I'm glad you used that word bully, because that's what I titled my video yesterday, was Scarlett Johansson gets bullied by snowflakes. And then I got a lot of people saying, oh, yeah, a millionaire got bullied. Yes, a rich person can be bullied, by God. And she was bullied.
We can take, we can even remove any sympathy or, whatever we might have for this, for this multimillionaire actress, right? And it still comes down to the fact that what could have been a watchable, if not maybe fucking good film with an interesting story and character, now might not get made because there were salty fucks on the internet who decided to like get those clickbait articles into Vox as quick as they could.
Yeah.
And hold on a minute. I got to get into a tranny's pants real quick. I didn't know you. I kind of understand where they're coming from, though. Like if you're a tranny and you're like, man, I want to see myself represented in film. I think the film would have been better if it had an actual transgender person.
I didn't say that about Eddie Murphy when he played Fat Nutty Professor. Oh, I just had to see a real fat dude.
If it was done well, first of all, if they did it well and they found a trans actor that could do the part well, I think having it be a trans person on top of the film being good in itself, that would be added benefit total. So I can see why a trans person would be like, I want to see that.
If they could have found like a replacement casting, like, because the thing is there are no transgender A-listers outside of Laverne Cox. At least not that I can think of right now. And even if they'd gone with a Leah Delaria, who has profile, people are familiar with her work enough to maybe that they'd want to go see it, even on those grounds, you lose that box office draw. You lose that profitability aspect. And
she is a major fucking star.
Yeah, she's not even a fucking phenomenal actress.
No, she's just a big fucking star, though. I mean, she's hot as hell.
Yeah, she's a leading lady in the sense, because like the difference between a character actor and a leading actor. Yeah, a leading actor shows up and plays themselves as a role.
And the thing about what she doesn't look like a look, Charlize Theron played what's her name, that serial killer woman chick. And what was, I can't remember her name, Eileen something.
Yeah.
Are you talking about that movie Monster?
Yes. Well, look, look at Charlize Theron, but how beautiful she is, right? Look how they made her look for that movie. They can do makeup and make Scarlett Johansson look like a fucking train.
They turned tiny little Gary Oldman into Winston fucking Churchill.
Exactly.
Like to a point where when I was watching that film, it was like Darkest Hour. When I was watching that, like I had to kind of remind myself that it's Gary Oldman from time to time, because he looked the part because of all that fucking makeup, and then at the same time he was really inhabiting the role. And it was like, well, that's a fucking actor's performance right there. Like, if you want to see a good performance, cast somebody as a role that's completely different from them that they can own.
Exactly. I do want to point out that there's a transgender person in the chat room who's a very good friend of mine. She said, "Stop grouping trannies in with SJWs." She's got a point. This wasn't all transgender people. These were the fucking snowflakes,
the trenders, and the outrage mongers. Because I mean, it's. I mean, the people I argued with one transgender person, and I argued with a good solid dozen or so people about this.
Yeah.
And one transgender person began with trans roles should go to trans people, full stop. But then, like, upon further argument, and it wasn't a heated one, was like, oh, you got a point there. Yeah, it would be nice for a trans movie a movie about a trans person to really get big exposure. Other than that, it was all just virtue signaling progressive types who wanted to be like, well, they get murdered every day. It's like statistics don't show that. But okay,
that has nothing to do with whether or not somebody should change their film, though. Like they have to the argument that somebody should change like the actress or whatever, especially a high profile one.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing.
That's ridiculous.
She would bring a lot of attention to the role, right? And this is a subject matter that needs to be discussed, needs to be talked about, and she would bring a lot of attention to the matter. You just fucked that up. That's what they did. They just fucked it up.
I get why they wanted it, but I don't approve of basically what happened. I think that was a dumb way to go about it.
Well, they did it totally bully tactics, and you know, it's crazy.
I think, you know what I think she should have done? Like, I'm beginning to realize the fucking political strategy that everyone should just take right now is never apologize for anything and always double down with what you were doing in the first place. Never fucking ever stop, even if you're wrong. Because
so if you're punching little kids in the face, just double down and punch more.
Just be like, this kid fucking deserves it. just keep doing it.
Follow that kid to kindergarten and beat on the whole freaking kindy.
Beat the whole class, yeah.
To a point where you have to explain what you're doing to someone, and they'll be like, "Do you know how many lives children have ruined?"
This little fucker's mom didn't want him.
Yeah,
like, you say that as a joke, but children have ruined so many fucking lives.
Yeah. Let's nip this in the bud. We're hitting the maternity ward.
Here we go. Just fucking start stomping little babies.
This stream took a turn. That was fun.
Yeah.
Now
we always do that. We're retarded.
Well, you know, it's speaking of retarded. God damn, that's a terrible segue.
Perfect. Go with it.
No, it was. I mean, well, it's an interesting bit of timing, and I kind of think that this is kind of cool, but also a little off the mark. So in the same week, and right now I'm basically just spoiling my own video, but whatever. In the same week that all this shit went down with Johansson, The Rock, who's got that new Die Hard ripoff, Skyscraper coming out, yeah. Now in this, he plays a character who's missing a leg. He's an amputee, and he's actually like adopted the role of being like a disabilities advocate, which in general I think is pretty cool. I mean, the Americans with Disabilities Act is pretty fucked, and thank you, Penn and Teller, for teaching me that. But what killed me, though, I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And he's like, Hollywood, you need to step it up, and we need to cast more disabled actors. I'm like, what? Why? I mean, and also, I mean, you look at Rose McGowan or Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Do they not qualify as disabled? Because
I think Shia LaBeouf definitely does, dude. I've got so many marks around that fool.
Yeah, that boy mentally challenged for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't know. Is his whole life performance art, or is he really batshit crazy?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm not even like cracking a joke here, though. But I mean, like, people like McGowan and LaBeouf are genuinely like emotionally and mentally perturbed. Like, their lives, despite being multimillionaires and shit, are probably pretty hellish existences. Just having to be that and having to wake up every day that fucking crazy, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
What about Jim Carrey? I don't know if you guys have paid attention to Jim Carrey.
He's losing his shit, man. He has lost his shit.
No, I think he's somewhat enlightened, though. Some of his enlightenment, I think,
is woke.
Well, what was it?
Somewhat woke, dude.
I think documentary. What was it?
Woke.
What was it?
Andy Kaufman and Andy and
Jim and Andy. Jim and
Andy. Yeah, I've seen it.
It was a good movie. I mean, it was a good film, and it was
good documentary.
You ended up like sympathetic and kind of understanding like what happened to Carrie.
Jerry Lawler was gonna whoop his ass.
Yeah.
Lawler was gonna beat the shit, and I don't blame Lawler.
Well, you guys ever watch the channel Nitpicks?
No.
Really good channel. They do, reviews of Netflix movies and shows. And they did a whole one about why Jim Carrey is not a method actor. He's an asshole. Just like he took it so far to the point where and it was touching when you see it in Jim and Andy. He's talking about sitting with Kaufman's daughter and them having a moment.
Yeah.
But then, Nitpicks reframed it and said, yeah, this asshole pretended to be this woman's dead father so that he could inhabit the role more while bringing her into some fake catharsis that's not going to do her any good.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's true, but I kind of get what Jim's going for. Like, I've seen the shit, like how he behaved when he was doing the whole Kaufman thing. I don't know if you saw his. He was on Comedians with Cars doing coffee. That whole
I've seen that too.
Yeah. Like, he says some wild out there shit. I think he's probably over woke, if that's a term.
He needs to go back to sleep.
He's gone beyond woke. I mean, like the guy is. I mean, the guy he's reaching he's reaching sort of 60s. Like I dropped a bunch of acid with a guru in Nepal, and now I see all, and now I can taste all of the colors. He's tasting all of the colors.
Think about actually doing what he did, though. Like for the whole Kaufman thing, could you actually become a totally different person and embody that for, like, imagine the psychological, like they say that like when you go into solitary confinement, that after a certain period of time, it actually changes the physiological structure of your brain. It does permanent damage to your actual brain. Imagine forcing whoever's not you onto your brain like that and trying to like open your fucking third eye to that degree. I don't know. Like
there's a lot of actors who, when they go hard at a role and then afterwards like they need extensive like psychotherapy, and you know, I mean it's not to that same extent, but when it comes to that, like you are the role, what's his name, Peter Weller, who played RoboCop, when he was on set, he would only respond to people calling him Robo. He would only eat baby food when it was time for lunch. Like he stayed in character the entire time. And
James Franco did that with Tommy Warsaw in the recent movie he did about Tommy Warsaw.
Oh yeah, I mean Franco's just a nut to begin with.
Yeah, but that's a good fucking movie though. The Disaster Artist, great movie, absolutely phenomenal movie. But I think Carrie, I don't think he's woke. I think he's tarded.
Maybe, you know, I don't like, I think he's woke in that, like, because of what he's done and how he's experimented with his acting and embodying, you know, other people. He's observed other people's behaviors. Like he's really good at that. He's always been so good at impressions. He's observed people and has been able to replicate those impressions so precisely. So like in a way, he's very gifted with observing humanity on this broad scale. But I don't think when he talks about those kinds of things that he's thinking about with other people, he doesn't do it in an academic sense. Like the way he talks about what he's thinking of, like, I don't think people understand even what he means. And I don't think he's saying exactly what. I
don't think he understands what he's saying.
Are you familiar with Alan Watts?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a kind of Alan Watts thing going on now, to where it's like, you know, it's like to the casual observer, it'll seem like one half deep philosophy, one half psychobabble. Yes. And another thing I think is worth noting though is like Carrie's always celebrated because he wrote himself a check for like $100 million or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
When
which was cool.
No, I mean it is cool, but I mean part of my thinking when you look at what's become of Jim Carrey, when you think of like so he accomplished all of his dreams, all of his goals really fast, all at once, huge splash. What do you do after that?
Good point. Good question.
Yeah, I mean, like, how lost can you imagine a person being? Because I mean, when you're struggling, I mean, any fucking YouTuber will tell you this. When you're like struggling, scrapping just to try and make a career out of something you really love doing, every little victory feels so fucking enriching. Yeah. But if you've accomplished everything, if you've blown up so fast and maybe exceeded your own goals, where do you go from there? Who are you supposed to be at that point?
Yeah, where the fuck does PewDiePie go?
Look at what he is the epitome of success in this world. You all.
Well, I mean, I'd say in terms of like his content and shit, he found like a nice, like healthy-ish, stable way to like. Yeah, it's like, what does he do? What's your career now? I just look at memes. I look at memes.
That's what he does. That's what he does.
Yeah,
and he gets more viewers than anybody.
Well, that's a sad thing. No, his videos don't get as many views. You know, I mean, that's the sick thing. Even Meme Review, biggest channel on the platform, keeps growing. Meme Review, funny show. All of his meme shows, they're all the same thing. They're all funny. But yeah, then you get like, you know, it's like the new Rice Gum Kids, like these lame ass prank channels. They're the ones getting like hundreds of millions of views.
That little fucking Asian girl, well, she's like 9 years old, little Tay. Which is child abuse, by the way.
I know. She needs I mean, that's actually genuinely sickening. And it's funny that something like that could blow up after the Daddy-O-5 scandal.
Exactly, right?
People are just like, yeah, man, we can't get enough kids clearly being exploited by their parents who never fulfilled any of their own goals. Fucking great. Let's do some more of that.
And that shit was so fucking wild, man. I followed that Daddy-O-5 shit, and I totally forgot about him all the way up until the moment you just said their name.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I thought about that one, but yeah, let's say when it first came out, you know, in that one video, which I don't know how it got released, where her brother was telling her what to say and shit. I'm sitting here thinking, this is child abuse. This is flat out fucking child abuse.
Teaching a child to be a terrible person. It's like, well, no, I just want her to be prepared for a life in social media. Fair point.
Yeah. But well, did you got like fucking, what is it, Jake Paul doing a video with her throwing money on the ground? I'm like, what are you?
Being shit is a really, I mean, like, we live in a reality TV age. I mean, fuck, Poisoning the Well, when they were at VidCon, and they were talking about this during their live stream. They were at like a panel or a presentation for creators, and they were basically told, if you're interested in doing well, you know, thoughtful, well-produced content, this is not the platform for you.
Yeah, that's what they were. Yes, they were. That's what they set up on that panel. I wasn't there, but I heard the guys talking about it.
No, I mean, it's fucking, and it's the kind of thing, like, when, especially if you put a lot of effort, if you put work into what you're doing on YouTube, right? And it's nice because if you do that, you will cultivate an audience, like a real one that will stick with you, that's not filled with retards, that gives a shit about you and your content, and they're with you, but you're not gonna get up into the millions or even the hundreds of thousands with that. And when you see what gets big on this platform, it is really hard not to just ask, like, what the fuck? Why is what is why?
It's
the brain.
It's really sucky to see, like, people like, well, I mean, I know you guys put in a lot of work, you and Jeff and all them, and I know what I do. Fuck, dude, I do 5 days a week podcast, plus I do the Ultra Perspective. I do Drunken Peasants, you know, sometimes twice a week, at least once a week. I'm busting my ass, and then see this little fucking motherfucker throwing money on the ground, being famous.
And the sad thing is too, is that's what because the kids are the audience, really.
Yeah.
Like the tweens, the preteens, the young teens. That's the real audience on YouTube. But to see the kind of shit that they're going for makes you wonder, like, what are they gonna grow into? What's
idiots?
Yeah.
Hasn't it always been that way, though?
It's getting worse, though. Yeah, it's always been, the youth is always fucking up the world. But I do believe that this generation,
we all fucking up the world. I tell you,
but I do believe. I do believe this generation is more fucked up than any other generation, though.
Well, social media is fucking poisonous, dude. I mean, I've done videos on this that nobody watched, but they were like, the focus was asking, like, you take Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you take all these things, right? For all the filters that these apps will give you for different photos, they give you no filters for the shit that comes out of your mouth into public. And I compared Facebook to Twitter one time, saying that I have more respect for Twitter because whereas Facebook, you're mostly in contact with your friends and family. So when you offer your explosive political diarrhea, for instance, you're doing that. It's basically jumping up on the dinner table and shitting in front of all your closest friends. Whereas in Twitter, it's basically just like popping a squat in a public square and dropping a deuce right there and seeing who comments on it. And so, but this
that method. That's a good way to put it.
The world we fucking live in now, where, I mean, if people aren't going out and doing horrible, cringy shit, they're going out and faking horrible, cringy shit. And I remember when we used to look at Jackass and be like, what the fuck is this going to lead to? Well, congratulations, we found out.
And now you got them. Oh, yeah, it's so fucked up. I blame Red Eye.
Shoot me with this fucking Desert Eagle 50 cal. I'm sure that this phone book will stop it.
Red was just talking about that the other day.
Story. That's like the best fucking story, because it's like
the best story.
Karma. Instant fucking karma. Here's what you get for being stupid.
Just the other day, Red mentioned that.
Mommy, tell me the story about where you blew Daddy away with the 50 cal pistol for the YouTube video again.
Yeah, it's so fucking crazy.
Where's Daddy?
Did they have a kid?
Oh yeah,
she was fucking pregnant at the time she pulled the trigger.
Yeah, it was a fucking tragic story too, because at first everyone was like, how dumb is this bitch? And then like audio recordings or transcripts surfaced. Like she was like crying, pleading, begging not to do it, and he just kept going with like he just kept going. Oh no, baby, it'll be fine. If you love me, you'll do this. Like, yeah, if you love me,
dude,
fucking chest.
Do you ever just shed a tear for stupid people? Because I have a little bit of feelings. Sometimes I feel bad, even in the worst case.
I do.
The motherfucker died. I mean, this is gonna be a kid growing up without a dad because he was a dumbass. But all the same, it's a tragic situation. But
yeah,
this is what the incentives that we have organically created on our own have made. You know, you can't scratch your head when you see this shit anymore. It's no different than clickbait. It's all about grabbing attention by any means necessary. Doesn't mean if you're sacrificing your dignity or just being an absolute dumbass and putting yourself or others in danger, as long as you get those clicks and those views, man.
I think the question that we should be asking ourselves at this junction is there a correlation between the social media generation and a proclivity to do dumb shit? Because I'm curious if it was in the past that people were still lighting firecrackers off in their asshole and like, you know, doing a bunch of dumb shit. I'm sure they were, even if they didn't have a camera, they were probably doing it back in like the 50s, 60s.
Yeah, the hold my beer culture has been around forever.
Yeah.
I think we could correlate a growth in stupid phenomenon happening with the growth of fucking cameras being put into smaller and smaller devices and being made more and more affordable. So, for instance, there's a wonderful phenomenon where thrill seekers will climb to the tall of very, very tall, like world record setting skyscrapers and then climb the fucking cranes and then hang off the crane and then pull out their phone and start getting selfies. And there's been a fair few of them go, oh, I've just slipped and I'm falling to my death. This is actually going to take quite a while because I'm really high up. So they've probably got time to ring their parents and go, listen, I was thrill seeking. I've just slipped off the fucking Dubai high rise. I've probably got another minute before I go splat. Yeah, going to post on Facebook now. Bye, mum and dad. And then they start posting live streaming on Facebook. Look at me, we.
And you got people cheering it.
They're just hanging there. They're hanging there, filming themselves, and then they slip and they're falling like, "Oh fuck! Oh Christ! Don't forget to like and subscribe."
Exactly. So that would sum it up. The last thing: don't forget to like and subscribe.
And they do. That's what's even worse. They do like and subscribe to these fucking idiots, and that's what's scary. I mean, you got like.
Is the thing, dude. I mean, like, yeah, I remember having a conversation back in my political days about like the nature of the American dream, right? It used to be own some land and raise a family and pass it on to your children, right? And then it grew from that into do that, you know, work hard, raise a family, and provide to the point where your kids can have a better life than you do. Then that graduated, it seems, at some point to become a fucking pop star by any means necessary.
Yeah.
And then we get Jackass and all these reality shows coming up where it's like, you know, the reality stars of our age, be they the fucking president or the Kardashians, they seem like generally fucking stupid people. They seem like stupid, self-absorbed people who are entirely like their entire world focus is on building their name and their fame and their reverence, and they'll do anything and they'll say anything that comes to it. And so when that filters down to the grassroots fucking internet culture of young people with no real ambition, yeah, you can't be surprised when this dumb shit happens.
Yeah. But it's not all bad. At least we've got 4chan guys. They've done some big things. It's very important.
They got feminist
steps for mankind have been made on that website.
Free bleeding wouldn't exist without 4chan.
Yeah.
I'm thinking specifically to the trolls who were trolling Shia LaBeouf and his "He Will Not Divide Us" campaign.
That is the best game of hide and seek ever, yeah.
Dude, they got a fucking drone. They got a drone with a fire drone on it. What the
Hold
fuck?
on. The best game of hide and seek ever played was by fucking Osama bin Laden. That motherfucker was the king of hide and seek for nearly a decade. You can't take that away from him. I will not allow his fucking record to fucking be challenged like that.
I hate to be this guy, but whose joke was that? I'm remembering the stand-up bit. Oh, whose was it?
I can't remember.
Was it Jeffries?
I think it was Jeffries.
I think it was Jim Jeffries.
Or was it him or Tim Minchin?
I can't remember, but yeah, I heard it somewhere, and I thought it was one of the funniest things. It was like the fucking might have been a meme I just saw. It's like Osama bin Laden has officially set the record for fucking best hide and seek player in the history of humanity. It's like, who would have thought to look for him right near that fucking golf course in Pakistan?
Dylan, if you want to know what free bleeders are, just look it up.
Just go to Google image search. Google image search free bleeders. Go for it.
What about the ladies that dye their yarn a certain way by putting it in somewhere at a certain time period during the month, and then when it comes back out, it's been dyed that lovely color? It's like, no.
I'm just wondering when we have exhausted the absurdity of our species. Will we get to the end? Because you got people painting with their period blood.
Yeah, that's so goddamn retarded.
You got people drinking that shit.
In fairness, you can't really be surprised by that, though, because even before the internet, there was there were like constantly like avant-garde art movements where it's like, yes, I painted Jesus with my corn, the corn out of my poo.
Yeah, I know it, man. Look, I don't give a look.
Actually, that was one of Sacha Baron Cohen's trolls. Actually, he posed as this. He posed as this. What was he like? A reformed ex-con, former junkie. Went to this art exhibit and started saying he makes art with his shit and his pubic hair, and he actually got the interviewer to give him some of her pubes to put in one of his paintings.
Oh damn!
Wow,
that's pretty good though.
Baron Cohen is a fucking he's a gem. He's irreplaceable, I think.
Yeah, he's a pretty good fucking troll.
Yeah. It's like, well, I mean, after Borat and all that, everyone, what was the thing we kept hearing? Oh, he'll never be able to do that again. Everybody knows who he is. It's like, ha. He's got fucking, he's got Harry Winston working on his prosthetics, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, I just want to say, I know that art is comes from the mind or whatever, but if you throw shit or pussy blood on a fucking boy, to me that's not fucking art, all right? I don't want to say, or you get a fucking baby like when motherfucker put a magic marker in a baby's hand. Oh, look what he drew. He didn't draw anything. It's fucking scribbles.
Get me that elephant, dude.
It's art. You gotta accept it, pimp. You gotta accept the art.
You gotta be pimp. You gotta be a real intellectual to understand.
Well, call me a dumb son of a bitch, because that shit ain't art.
Go watch you some Rick and Morty. You'll get it after that.
I like Rick and Morty. No, I really don't. I've never watched an episode yet. I need to.
You see Rick and Morty? Oh my god!
I've never watched any.
You gotta watch that shit.
It's a great show. It's just the fan base is
crazy
garbage. Yeah.
I've got a good idea for a performance art piece. I want to walk into a Bentley dealership with a sledgehammer and just start wailing on the most expensive fucking Bentley in there, and then just when they've finished free, it's cool. Calm down. It's just art. Performance art piece.
I got a performance art piece.
See you later.
So I can burn my nipple and do handstands on my chair and call it a performance art piece. Huh, Warski?
I'm pretty sure Alex Jones established that as a legal precedent, though. You can act as batshit retarded as you want on the internet, and if you ever come into IRL problems with it, like it's a performance art. I don't really believe there were crisis actors at Sandy Hook.
I don't think he actually did believe it. I think, but the scary thing
is talking about Alex Jones.
Yeah, the people who follow him believe it. That's what's scary.
No, he believed that shit. He believed that shit wholesale, man.
Until his custody fight came up. But I mean, you take a guy like Watson though. Watson gets an unverified DM on Twitter from a guy saying he's a senior executive at NBC. He's like, yeah, we're all conspiring to throw the election to Hillary. That's great. I'll go and report this in front of my map right away. then he gets called out And I asked him about it because I caught him on Twitter one time, like talking shit about the mainstream media doesn't check their sources. And I'm like, weren't you the dude who just reported on a DM, like without checking anything out? And he's like, but look at my views. I'm not. And so, yeah, I mean, can we be surprised that in an day and age for someone like that, I guess I'm going to use heavy finger quotes here, journalist, 1 million+ subscribers on YouTube, should it be surprising that like a wretched little fuck like Andy in the midst of a mental breakdown and a personality disorder is going to light his nipple on fire in the hopes of raking in those sweet super chats? I mean, the guy's proven he'll do anything for him.
Wait, he lit his nipple on fire?
Yeah, he lit his nipple on fire, and he did handstands in his chair and fell down and tore his wall up, and then he called it a performance art piece.
See, I went nuts out on a stream one time, but I didn't call it performance art.
Seriously, I've just visualized a video in my head for you, and it's basically Paul Joseph Watson on a fishing expedition and describing the fish he catches every time, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger until you're catching megalodon and planet-sized fish, and then it's half the size of the galaxy, and the fish is the fucking entire universe by the end of the fucking 2-minute video.
Call me Ahab.
Because that's a brilliant impersonation. That was quite well done, mate.
I used to do impersonations a lot. In fact, actually, I was planning, and I'm still going to try and get him to do it, but Vernaculus and I wanted to do an InfoWars 1776 edition. So it'd be like, you know, he'd be doing Jones, and he'd be like, this Boston massacre, it's clearly a false flag. We're gonna go to Paul. What was it? I was gonna be like Paul Jotep Watsonberger. There's gonna be like, what is it? Notorious regressive Samuel Adams. I claim responsibility for the Boston Tea Party, but East India records show there was no tea in the harbor at the time.
Oh, brilliant! That is brilliant.
Thank you. Oh, you're talking to him.
We'll get it done.
We'll get it done. Get her done.
I just need a powdered wig and a pre-Western expansion map to stand in front of.
Please do that video. I would enjoy watching that.
We're gonna. I just got to get Vernaculus out of his funk.
That's a great impersonation, though. Spot on.
Well, I used to do harmful opinions too.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And all you need to do with harmful opinions is talk like this, and then
that sounds exactly like him. What the fuck?
Before he was I used to do before he was persona non grata, I used to do Kraut and Tea quite a bit as well.
Oh now, shit.
That is really good too. Holy shit. Really good.
I want to show you all these documents I found. Literally thousands of people tweeting.
Sounds a lot like him, dude.
And, yeah, I'm not even going to bother with grade A under A because at this point,
I know Jeff can sound just like fucking JF, dude. I mean, exactly like him.
Alpha Chardonnay, how women want to have sex with him as soon as they pick up his belly and find his macro penis.
Now we just need somebody to do Sargon. That would be fun.
I could do Sargon. Because that's what I hear when I listen to Sargon. I fall asleep.
He does have like a delightful cadence to his voice that you just have to fall asleep to.
Yeah, you have to just want to. I froze up.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now, Sargon's a smart dude. He just puts me to sleep, dude.
I'd like to hear Sargon read some like David Attenborough shit, you know? And then the male climbs on top of the female, and I mean, fucking hell. I can't do Sargon.
Look at that. That fucking other male's being cucked by that fucking alpha over there.
Have you guys ever seen Cassette Boy? Have you ever seen him?
No.
He's got another great channel, right? He does those like actually like harmful remixes, where basically like the kind of shit Cassette Boy would do. And he did one where he cut David Attenborough voiceovers, and he laid it over footage of like London nightlife, and just like all these like pasty chavs and shit getting hammered and falling down and puking on each other. It's like soon the male's penis becomes engorged with copious amounts of Stella. Female has had too much, Stella. Bitch thrown up on the sidewalk. You got actually. Well, he was the one who did. He was the one who did the. It wasn't Tony Blair. Who was that other PM nobody liked? The conservative one. He did. He like recut all of his speeches to a rap set to one of Eminem's tracks.
Oh my lord!
I don't want to say that it's not funny. It is to me. I've got loads of money.
That's ill, dude.
I'm real shady, Slim. I don't know.
I'm the real Shady, the real Slim Shady.
All you other Slim Shadies. That's fucking funny.
Yeah, see, this
You're
is
good at those voices, man. You're really good at the voices, man.
I was gonna. There was a while I was actually gonna do a whole like YouTuber impression video, but then everyone hated each other, and plenty of them hated me. So I'm like, well, fuck that noise. Why would I do that unless I'm going to say some really gay shit? See, that's the fun thing, is to talk about fun things on the internet rather than focus on
that's exactly right.
A fucking train wreck setting himself on fire because he can no longer pal around with Dick Spencer or something. I don't know.
That's why I started the Morning Wood. It was to like offset what was going on in the blood sports thing. I wanted to be just goofy and funny. I'm not, if people like the blood sports, fine. Whatever you want to watch, that's fine. It's your business. But I just wanted to give them something to make somebody laugh, to be goofy,
Well, that was watching the evolution of that shit was pretty fucking revolting. Not just on the grounds that it was revolting on its own, and that most of the people like really cashing in were just talentless tools of somebody else who stirs shit for a living now that he makes money doing it. But no, the revolting part though was to see it. It's like when you look at TV ratings and you see how big reality TV is. You're like, this is not just mindless schlock. This is like objectively bad mindless schlock, and people can't get enough of it.
But they did get enough of that pretty quick.
What do you found the whole thing? People have made like Duck Dynasty so fucking rich, man. Like, what do you expect? Like, we should have known already that it was gonna be.
We always knew it would come to this.
Yeah.
We hope for more. Well, how people just say the most outrageous, embarrassing shit about themselves. Like fucking Medica got fucking Warski to basically admit, I'm firing JF, and that just started off the snowball of destruction for the whole thing at that point. And there was another point where I think it was AP the Frog. I might have got that wrong, so please forgive me if I do. But he started pushing Warski and asking him certain questions, and got him to admit about a certain incident with a girl that may or may not have taken place. And and who the fuck would say that in a normal conversation on a live?
Keep in mind, those kids will do and say anything for attention. I mean, fuck, actually, like, I mean, what was it? I was being accused in like a 3 or 4 hour live stream of flagging AP off of Twitter. And then once he had nothing more to say about that, because it just wasn't true, then it was just 3 hours of them mocking my appearance. And I'm sitting there like, really? Is that where we're going? And then I started getting comments like, man, your channel probably be growing if you weren't fucking your subscribers. And then I get another comment saying like, you're probably a fucking virgin. I'm like, fellas, if you're going to shit talk, I need you to be on the same page here. It's horribly confusing otherwise.
Yeah.
But like, how am I supposed to parse through the bullshit?
Yeah, what am I supposed to feel bad about? Fucking too many people or being a virgin? I don't get it. But one thing this is one of those rare moments of optimism for me. In the same way that we have like Hollywood, right? And I mean, people are growing tired of this shit that they've been bumping out, and they're going to continue to grow tired of the lame shit. Because like, look at where are those spoof movies that used to come out all the time? They're not making them anymore because no one likes it. People went back to sort of same thing with animation. Like we had this period in which it was all garbage, and then quality shit started coming out, and people were so tired of garbage they started going for it. When I hear Poisoning the Well saying that they're being told by YouTube professionals that this is not the place for well-produced good content, I'd like to think that just in the same way people got really sick of the blood sports horse shit as fast as they did, that maybe the next turn will be something that appreciates shit like what Magog is trying to do. Or Beard
That's what I fucking hope, dude. I hope that same thing. I hope we go like a more creative route like that. I think he's got
But the thing about it is, though, YouTube is doing nothing to help these guys either. Anyone with any kind of, because you can say the least little thing get kicked off the fucking site anymore. It's, I mean, I got.
Or the random ways they fuck your channels, like some people. It's like, oh, I'm growing in subscribers, but every video has been demonetized. Meanwhile, I never get demonetized, but every time I upload, YouTube automatically purges like 40 subscribers per video and then doesn't recommend anything.
More subscribers than I have.
Dude, I got
Well, I was just going to say, I think a lot of the problems could be fixed with a sweeping change of fucking upper management.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Susan's got to go.
Yeah, Susan needs to go back to like, I don't know. I'm guessing with her talent, she's clearly worked in like high finance before, back in around maybe 2008, let's say.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, I got a strike on my channel suspended for 3 months because I had a sponsor of Kratom. Cracking Kratom was my sponsor, and so that's awesome. Yeah, I know. And I got a suspension, and then I got a 2-week suspension because I was in Philadelphia and I mentioned, didn't even show it. I mentioned that we were going to go downstairs and smoke a joint.
That's fucked up because now Kevin Smith's about to have a new show of his own where it's all about weed.
Yeah.
Like, this is the focus. Is like YouTube wants to become cable.
TV,
they want to become so they're pushing like fucking Jaden Smith now has 1 million subscribers. Paul brothers are huge. Rice Gum explodes. They hate PewDiePie despite him being their biggest creator. And then I mean, oh, you want to make creative shows? Well, fuck you. We're doing that. It's Survive the Night with all of these hip millennial content creators who can't act worth a shit, but we put them in a fucking show anyway.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break.
It's fucked up, dude.
It's you know, it'd be really, really funny if seeing YouTube are trying to jump into the whole TV game. If fucking Netflix turned around and just came out with a platform called Uflix.
Yeah, have you wanted to be fun?
And their emblems of the middle finger fucking sticking up like that. That'd be great.
Now you too can have a Netflix show and then have it exposed that years and years ago you got drunk and tried to fondle one of your co-stars, Kevin Spacey.
I did that too, but I try to fondle Red Eye and D.
See, I just keep it to subscribers. That's my thing.
Yeah, I do them too.
Fuck your subscribers. I mean, if you're not doing that literally,
I have actually.
You'll end up doing it with content. Yeah.
I've never fucked one of my subscribers ever.
Just like waiting.
Remember, I was just gonna say,
series of
remember, kids, in the chat, clicking on that subscribe button is kind of like consent. Wink.
It is. It's saying that you will fuck a fat dude. Once you hit the subscribe button on my channel, yep, I'll fuck the fat guy.
If you click that bell, I'll ring that bell. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And also, since we're talking about subscribe, hit the subscribe button on this channel if you're not. But also make sure you go to my main channel, which I will be back on in about 8 days. And we will be doing the Morning Wood there from now on. Yeah, there's a few more subscribers over there than there are here. So yeah,
just a few.
Just about 13 or 14,000 more. But
somebody made a not team YouTube account on Twitter. Introducing our new copyright match tool designed to allow you to screw over channels and take all their money. Oh, that's not going to last.
We'll probably get a week's worth of streaming out on the main channel, and then we'll get a strike for making people laugh at stupid jokes or something like that. They'll come up with some new arbitrary community guidelines. Like, if you make people laugh too much, you're in danger of making them pull a muscle in their tum-tum, and that's bad. So we can't have you creating mirth on this platform any longer. No funnies.
Your channel was hit with an automatic copyright strike due to this joke you told, which we can tell belongs to Amy Schumer. It's like, but it belonged to Amy Schumer.
Is this true? Does Rice Gum really have a platinum album?
Probably.
What? No.
Somebody said in the chat that his Rascal's got a platinum record.
Well, keep in mind, I mean, if he sells it for 99 cents on Bandcamp, right? I don't know if they still count that, but all he needs to do is go on one of his, like, you know, just go on one of his videos like, hey, guys, I'm going to take you through this mansion here. And, all right, cool. Drop that beat. And I got a mansion. And I got a car. And I got some shoes. Now get the fuck away. Hope you guys like and subscribe. Make sure to like and subscribe. Rice Gum every day. 100 days a year. Rice Gum. Watch Rice Gum every day.
Yeah.
You forgot to go. Yo, check out my new Rolex. Check it out. Yo. It's a Lamborghini Rolex. Yeah.
Lamborghini Rolex.
I got Maserati briefs on, kid. So you wear briefs.
I can drive my shoes.
I can file my own taxes. Fuck. I can buy my own insurance.
I own H&R Block.
Having like a compelling narrative and lyrics.
Check out my new Ferrari. It's made out of Rolexes.
Well, I actually say between the glasses, the hair, and the exasperated look on your face, dude, I'm reminded. You guys all saw iDubbbz's diss track on him, right?
Oh yeah, that was fucking gold.
Oh, so good.
Gold.
You're not a fucking pimp. You're a borderline sex offender.
Yeah. And the one that fucking says something about you're a rapper that can't fucking work shit out with words. It's like about slapping the phone out of a hand. It's just like, Jesus Christ.
You know what I love? When they were shooting that video too, because internet comment etiquette was in that video. Like he was part of a cult with H3 and all that. And it was funny because he was supposed to be on Saints the weekend they shot that, and he spaced the fact that he agreed to do that video. Like, I can't make it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm like, what? Why? He's like, you'll see. Don't worry. You'll see. Okay. Next weekend, I promise.
And PewDiePie appearing in the fucking vid too was just like, they threw in the line, are you too scared to go on PewDiePie's show? Fucking calling him a little bitch and all sorts of shit.
Felix just does not give a fuck these days, and that's what's really making his channel great.
Yeah, I've started watching his stuff. What's he something to do, Flora dudes, like fucking don't laugh or you lose. Yeah, laugh if you laugh, you lose.
Flora do.
Slap to do, Flora do. That's right.
No, my own, honestly, fuck, dude. Like, my daughter, she's 10. She's been getting into YouTube. She, like, watches, you know, the kid stuff, like Gacha Studios. Yeah. But now she started watching different, like different streamers, and she came across PewDiePie, and we were bowling yesterday. And I'm like, you just got to send it down the center, baby, and get a strike. She's like, I could get a strike, but am I gonna? I'm like, no. No.
Don't do that.
Oh, she trolls me by dabbing. Because she knows I fucking hate that. She'll be like, hey, Dad. She'll just dab, and I'll be like, I will sell you to the first.
Dude, I got a cousin that's got a 3-year-old little girl. She came in the house the other day and dabbed.
Oh no!
And my heart just fell out of my chest, and I just wanted to die and shoot myself. And
so I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about with the dab. My understanding of a dab is it is like a concentrated marijuana.
Well, it's dab, right? It's dab, like dapping or whatever.
Oh, dab.
Dabbing. It's the same word. Like to do a dab is to smoke. Yeah, a concentrated THC thing. To dab on someone, that's the shit that the Pauls do. Yeah. Where it's like, I'm just waiting for Vox to come out with an article saying that it's a modified Zig Hail.
Are you talking about like the handshake? Like,
no, it's like this. They do something like that. I can't.
Yeah, they put their hands out. It's really dumb, and I want the Southern Poverty Law Center to declare it a hate crime at this point.
Clearly,
that's because they'd actually serve a purpose for the first time in their fucking existence. If they fucking did that, that'd be great. So you got your orders, Southern Poverty Law Center. Actually, do something. What's the other mob that just basically call everyone a hate group?
Israel.
That's them.
Yeah. I can make that joke. I'm a Jew. The rest of you are racist. You're laughing at it though.
God damn it! Sorry. Allegedly,
I got a big oven.
Oh no! Here we go.
Hey, you want to hear a good joke?
No.
Hey, D, would you love to hear a good joke?
You want to hear a good joke?
Here's a good joke.
Here's a good joke. This is for me. This is me trolling Red, by the way. You know what the squid said to the bagpipe?
What did the squid say to the bagpipe?
I would fuck you if you took off those pajamas.
Oh, God.
That's a great joke. I don't get it, but it's a great joke.
It's a dirty dad joke is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also,
Take off them bags.
you want to hear a really bad one? Here's a really bad joke.
Put the boot in.
You know what one lizard said to the other lizard, D?
What do you say?
Hi, other lizard.
What the fuck, dude? Lizards don't talk. This is insane.
I did.
About a week ago, we had a guy named Dan Lamort on Saints. He's a stand-up comic. We've been trying to like do more in terms of like bringing on interesting guests that aren't just YouTubers, because comedians usually make pretty great guests. And I will fucking mark my words. I'm gonna get Doug Stanhope for Saints. It's gonna happen. But no, I did a promo where it was just like this shitty, like, hey, I'm gonna do some shitty stand-up. Like, hey, so we just got done with Pride. That just ended. I kind of think it should come at the end of August, though, because doesn't it come before the fall? Hey, what did the middle of a wind farm? One wind farm says to the other, what kind of music are you into? And he says, I'm a huge metal fan.
Oh, I like that one. That's a good one. Good job.
Just cringy dad jokes. That's like
I love them.
Pivot. No, it's gonna be the next dad pivot. We're gonna hope for like well-produced sitcoms, and instead we're just gonna get like dad joke stand-up from your.
You know what I did one day? I did a whole entire morning wood on dad jokes.
Oh, that was brutal.
I did it to troll. I did it to fucking troll, and it was perfect. I love it.
Killed me.
I also did a whole dirty joke one day.
Fucking, I was like, what's like my favorite dad joke? It's one you can only tell to like Vice columnists, but it's hey, did you hear about the dad down the street who went out for his smokes? He actually came back with them.
Oh,
wow.
Black people won't like that one.
Oh, this is why I aimed it at Vice journalists, because if there's, I mean, like black people, it's one thing, you know, it's usually the state ripping dad away and shit. But with, you know, with feminists, you could tell dad was just driven out of the house. She couldn't take it anymore. Like, I'm gonna go raise sheep in Nepal now to get the fuck away from you.
I love telling jokes just to piss people off. Like one day, this one chick asked me, like, look, I got a big scar right here. And the chick asked me, she said, well, how'd you get this scar? I said, Mom's clothes hanger didn't work. And boy, her eyes just fucking like, and yeah, you could tell she was just so cringed out. And I love doing that. I love making people feel uncomfortable.
You just tell it to a feminist, and when they get offended too, you can be like, no, that's a pro-choice joke. I think it should be legal. That way, shit like this doesn't happen.
Oh, dude, I was in Philadelphia one time, Pennsylvania, not Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Oh, that Philadelphia. Oh, okay.
Yeah. There is a Philadelphia, Mississippi.
The other one.
Yeah,
the other one. Pennsylvania.
Yeah. But I was there one time. We was at this hotel, and they was having some kind of social justice convention there. And I was sitting outside, and there was this little black girl out there. She had a hat. It says, unapologetically black. So I started talking to her, and I said, you shouldn't have to apologize for being black. She said, you're right. And I looked at her and said, has anybody ever asked you to apologize for being black? And when I said that, this bitch looked like, oh my God, I can't believe you asked me that. And my friends were over there laughing their asses off. And I just went to trolling this chick hard. She didn't talk to me after that. Yeah, she didn't want to talk to me no more.
Philly's fucking weird like that. I mean, I remember I used to fuck around with the Occupy movement back when it was a thing. Because that was when, like, I worked in politics for, you know, better part of a decade. And then when I left the field, this Occupy thing happened, and I started, like, going through the camps. So I'd, like, camp out with them, and I'd, like, chill, but I'd observe them. I felt like Jane Goodall, you know, observing the wild apes in their natural habitat. That's not supposed to sound racist, but when I say it out loud, it actually
kind of did.
Yeah. But
that's
it was...
Okay.
Well, it was the weirdest thing because I get to Boston and it's just full of these like angry anarchists and terrified feminists, and they couldn't get anything done because of that. I get to New York and it was just like, that was a weird experience. But then I get to Philly, right? And it's just this like hipster, like acoustic music festival going on. And it's like, hey, what are you guys standing for? Oh, shh, the next act's going up. What the fuck is this, like Burning Man or some shit? What the fuck's happening? Philly's a great town, but it's a weird fucking place.
Yeah, it's a cool town though.
Yeah.
I got a stalker who lives there though.
Dieter Lucum? Yeah, me too.
No, this motherfucker's a really. This dude showed up outside my hotel recording videos and shit. He's fucking trippy. He's contacted my parents. He's a fucking nut job.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it's okay though. I hope he dies 1,000 deaths. No, I'm joking. I don't
But
want him
but not before his fucking Patreon payment comes through.
Yeah. He actually did become a Patreon. He became a Patreon to where he can flag my private shows.
Oh, dude, no, I've and I think it seems everyone that like it hangs around on this platform or does this kind of work at a certain point encounters one of those super fans, like super fans who. Like you can tell them to stop doing the shit that's creeping you out, and they'll be like, "Yeah, man, I love your shit," and they'll do more. And yeah, I've had a couple of them. I had one that was like would routinely anyone that I was connected to in any capacity, right? If I had somebody guest on a live stream, if I was hanging out and joshing around with them enough, they'd just start blowing up their DMs. Especially like when I stopped responding because I'm like, all right, I'm just not gonna engage. I'm just not gonna engage. All of a sudden, everyone I know is like, who is this motherfucker? And why are they messaging me about you? I don't know. That's the problem. Like I would hope, I'd kind of hoped I'd have more money before I had, super fans like that.
Yeah,
didn't work out that way. Thanks, PewDiePie. You and your fucking bridge moment.
I mean, the weirdest thing that's happened to me, and it's not much. It really isn't much, but there was one person when I did my other channel, I got like a maximum of like 530 subscribers or something like that. I would get regular emails that were extremely lengthy, regularly, that I wouldn't respond to. It was like, dude, there's no fucking way I could respond to the massive email that is here. Like I would have to spend many hours. Like, how can you keep sending me these long emails telling me all these things?
Were they like really personal too?
Oh yeah, man. I was like, dude, I can't. Like, I feel bad for not responding to all of them, but it's like, who actually expects those emails to get a response?
I just, I've from time to time. You guys ever watch Bro Team Pill?
No.
Yeah, I've watched a few.
Yeah, his videos are better than his streams, but the dude's just this like hilarious, obnoxious, drunk Canadian gamer, and does these like super cuts of streams and gives himself voiceover. But he did this one stream where he put together a fake OkCupid profile using a picture of like a cute friend of his, and just flooded with the like creepiest fucking online dating shit you can imagine. Shit like, hey, do you need a daddy? I could be your daddy. He was trolling the shit out of him for like an hour or something, and then he just started getting lazy, and he just started cut and pasting the responses from the chats between them.
Wow, dude! Wow,
I was so tempted to like try that myself back when I used to go up for messages.
That is awesome.
This was like an expose on like male correspondence on dating websites, then, right?
It was bad. I mean, and it kind of like, if you've ever tried online dating, when you see that kind of shit, you can kind of understand why it's not so easy to get a chick's attention on there, because they're like, if they're remotely attractive, they could be like, I don't even need to be remotely. They could be a 4.5, 4.5, and they'll still get every thirsty motherfucker out there.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey, I'd totally love to like lick your butthole and tickle your feet, and at the same time, are you into that? Because I can be into that if you are. What?
Wait a minute, is that a bad message?
Honestly, I have to give the guys on dating websites a lot of fucking sympathy, and maybe there's a lot of women out there that don't get it. I think some women do get it on dating sites. They know what the dude's experience is like on dating websites. But for me, if I want to get one message sent back to me, just one reply, I have to message like 100 different women.
in order to get one response.
Oh, what I discovered, I actually wrote, I've done decently on dating sites before, like OkCupid and shit, but not in terms of like meeting women that I was with. More it was just like, you know, they'd be absolute freaks in the sack and they'd be broken as Soviet sedans otherwise. But I began writing a stand-up act after a while, trying to focus on it, and I had this bit. I'm like, yeah, there's some friends tried getting me to do online dating again. I did it before. It was pretty horrible. Now, last time I was doing it, I was also shopping for a used car on Craigslist, and I started noticing these terrifying parallels between the two. So I want you to tell me whether or not I'm talking about a girl on OkCupid or a car on Craigslist. So, like something like the headline might say, she runs every day, but there's something wrong with the wiring and a smell I can't explain. Or used professionally daily, but still's got a lot of life left in her.
Oh, man.
Or my favorite, or my personal favorite, I just want this thing off my lawn. That's just another one.
There you go. That's a good one.
It's a proving ground thing. It's like Fat Pat was actually telling me, he's like, oh, one of the worst things that's ever gonna happen is you're gonna hate your own jokes because you're gonna tell them too many times. I'm like,
yeah.
Now
I tell mine way too many times.
Yeah, I've found that local classifieds can be a source of great comedy because once in a blue moon you get someone with a sense of fucking humor trying to sell their shit. And there was this guy trying to sell his bass guitar and his amp. And him and his missus do this for all their ads, it turns out, because I clicked on their shit and every one of their ads was quite funny. But basically the dude's going, this thing has strings. When you go dink, dank, donk, makes noise. Wife angry that I bought too many of these things. Now I must sell some of them. It's like, please help before wife makes me homeless, live under bridge with my music gear or something to that effect. And then it has a little bit from the wife. It says, yes, Neanderthal husband keeps buying music gear after I tell him no. I keep trying to hide credit cards, but he keeps finding them. He's like, please help. We'll adopt husband out if price is right. Shit like that. They're fucking awesome.
Well, I went on one of those dating sites, and the only thing I put in my description was, I promise I won't rape you. I never got a lot of comments.
Dude, you're like, honestly, it doesn't even matter. You could sit there for like 100 fucking hours and pin out the most beautiful fucking profile ever, just perfect. You spent hours working on it, and it's not going to make a difference. Some other dude that for whatever reason like fits the profile that is most attributed to getting responded to. You've got to have like the subtle fucking hair growth, you know, the perfect jawline. You know, you gotta have all the perfect features. That guy could say like, I take dumps, I take lots of shits,
I count the corn in my dookie.
I'm a prolific shitter. And
you're not supposed to say that either.
Would you like to count the corn with Miss Sweetie?
You've been reading my profile, haven't you?
No, when I had a decent amount of luck, part of it was that, so when I was first doing the acting thing, I got a photographer friend of mine. We did a trade because she needed like filler, like copy written for her website, and I was doing that at the time on the side, so I did that in exchange for headshots. And she's like, and I was chatting with her, joking about how shitty fucking online dating was. And she's like, she's like, I could touch your pictures up. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I could Photoshop the shit out of your pictures and make you look like an Adonis. I'm like, fuck it, let's give it a try. No, and it was fucking terrifying. It was so fucking like, it was so on point. And I ended up some of the most fun I've had, but I wouldn't go back to it. It was this tiny 4'11" red-haired, gorgeous little thing, like tiny little spinner. And she was, and when I said I used broken as a Soviet sedan, yeah, that was her to a fucking T. This chick, we'd be out at like dinner or out having drinks or something, and she'd just be sitting on her phone, right? And I'm like, oh, young, like, 20-something-year-old, that bound to happen like that. I figured she was on Facebook. No, she was browsing like Tumblr humiliation porn. And it turned out like
her kind of girl.
Oh, she was a lot of fun, but I mean, like when I found like she ended up breaking it off with me. We were like dating. We were dating. We're seeing each other all the time. And she broke it off with me because she wanted to go off with some like 50-something-year-old like BDSM master who had this program where he put ice cubes in her ass and shit. And I'm just like,
that's pretty hot.
The fuck? I'm like, huh? Oh yeah, I mean, it broke it as fuck. Like we'd go out for tacos, and the act of going out for tacos would trigger an anxiety attack. And so when she was like broke it off, I'm like, oh no, please stay. I love your neurosis. It's endearing, like a Judd Apatow film on acid.
Judd Apatow.
Why do all the freaky ones gotta be psychologically disturbed? Can't you just be as kinky as me without being like totally fucked up in the brain?
I met my ex-wife on a fucking dating site, right? On Plenty of Fish. We ended up dating for a while, got married, and that bitch is crazy as hell. Only thing good about her was her blowjobs. Yeah.
Oh, this one would like, I mean, and it was funny too. It wasn't just she wanted to be in porn. Like she'd be watching the kind of shit where like this one girl getting like fucking train run on her by like 6 dudes in a storefront window. You know, it's just like, wow, and then I met her dad. And I'm pretty fucking positive he was like molesting the shit out of her because there was this really fucking creepy vibe. And it's one of these things. I'm like, on the one hand, you're crazy. Your family's fucking nuts. All your friends are nuts. You're constantly fucking crying when you're not insisting on me putting stuff inside of you. But on the other hand, you're always insisting I put stuff inside of you.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, man? You're gonna put stuff inside that bitch. That's what you're gonna do for a little while.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a fucking trip though, and I think maybe it actually kind of factors into what we were talking about before, just in like the way this social media age of ours has influenced shit. Like, I hate to give the anti-porn crowd any kind of credit, but I do notice there are kids. What was it? Russell Howard, really great stand-up act. He's got a special on Netflix, and he was saying something like 1 out of 3 kids who lose their virginity film it. And he's like, his joke and his point was pretty good. He's like, well, how fucking confident can you be? All right, lights are good. Yes, camera 1, camera 2. Okay, let's do this. Oh, and I orgasmed.
Oh, how depressing would that be if you captured that moment on camera and just like the look of disappointment on her face? Just what?
Well, no, another comic I know. He's a local guy, Nick LaValle. He's like a lot of people bitch about millennials, you know, with their stupid trends and all that. I love them. I love dating them too. They're all into butt stuff. And it's true. Like, it used to be in the past. It's like, you know, if you got a woman to, like, you know, if you get your partner to give that up, it's like, whoa, hey, that's a thing. Now it's just like, hey, what was your name again? No, I know the feeling of the inside of your butthole now, but I mean, I forgot what your name was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
There
guys,
was some sage advice that was laid down upon me, not in a literal sense, a figurative one. That if you would like to participate in anal sex, you must lick the booty hole.
Yeah.
I think that's
right.
I think that's true.
Yeah. But we've about licking the booty hole. We've reached the time almost at the end of the show. So we're going to take Q's and A's. And we're going to take the Q's and the A's. And we're also going to take tips and Patreons. But please tip and I'll read your message.
He's going to take your Q in his A.
Yeah.
That's Quaaludes and Ambien.
Yeah.
Just a tip in the butthole. Just a tip.
Yep. Seriously though, if you tip, leave a message and I'll read it. And you got 7 minutes. So
yeah, tip this dude out. He needs more giant playing cards to make up lack of wallpaper.
I do.
Also, put cards up on that bitch soon.
Also, make sure you check out tomorrow's show. Magog and Hellbent should be on here. So
yeah. Before you move on, actually, I do want to just suggest, because it's just I just had this moment of inspiration here. In the same way Magog has his necromancer character and Beardy's got his barbarian, and I'm actually thinking of trying to start a fake redneck Jordan Peterson knockoff where he talks about how Lucky Charms is like prayer, but all that same shit. I think you ought to build yourself a set, get yourself a costume, and be the fat redneck 90s TV psychic. I think that would work for you, man. I think you can.
I can't wait to be fat though. No, I'm joking. Actually, I'm gonna be on Magog's when he does his comedy thing. I'm gonna be a monk on his show, a drunk monk. Cute question for Wizard. Coming back, is Wizard coming back? He makes me laugh. Yeah, he'll be back one of these days for sure.
Oh, I mean, this is the first morning show I've done in a long time because I usually don't do mornings.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I had the kid last night, so she wakes up, she's like, "I'm hungry, I'm awake." All right, that's right. I got a show to do. Thank God, I've got an alarm clock who eats breakfast.
I've had both. Well, I've had both of you guys on. You and Jeff. Jeff was a good guest, and you've been a great guest also. I appreciate you coming on.
That's fun, dude. I'm trying to do more. Like, I'm trying to stream with folks more often too, because
hell yeah,
the whole bullshit over the fucking fall and winter was like depressing as fuck, and I'm just like, fuck this environment, I don't want to do it. And then all that shit crumbled down. I'm like, hey, there's a bunch of funny, cool people left. And
it's coming to a point now where I've noticed it, especially lately with me, a lot of YouTubers are like stepping up and helping each other out, right? Like, you know, like because we have to support each other.
Back when I started doing this, I've been doing this about 4 years now. Yeah, about 4 years. And it was funny, like the other day I was actually going to shoot an update video for my channel, which I'm still gonna do. But it's the funniest thing that like I noticed, like, wow, nobody does update videos anymore. And of course I see a bunch come out as soon as I think that. But then another thing we all used to do is like shout out videos. Every so often people would put videos together and be like, these are the smaller channels I really like. You should go check them out. Yeah,
they used to do it a lot.
Maybe it'll come back.
Pimp, when are you coming on stage? Well, Jeff said something about it last time. Maybe they'll invite me on one day. You never know.
What are you doing Sunday?
Do what?
What are you doing Sunday night?
Sunday, nothing. Your show now.
Yeah, it's Tuesday. Yeah, so that's what we're doing Sunday.
All right, well, I'll come on. Just, yeah, cool.
Has nothing to do with a bigger name actually dropping out, I promise. No, this is actually the earliest in the week I think I've ever booked a guest. Usually it's like Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, like, oh, fuck, that's right, I've got a show to do, god damn it.
Yeah, I used to kind of be like that, but ever since VidCon, I kind of like met a lot of people that agreed to be on the show. So I've booked like a couple of weeks ahead, so it's pretty cool. A lot of cool people have been agreeing to come on the show, and I'm really appreciative of it. So yeah, okay. Anyways, I'm looking for questions here. With all the shit coming from YouTube, creators got to stick together. Yes, that's right, Oculus. See, Nick, networking is useful. I'm guessing this is one of your people.
I'm talking shit now.
Q-rated opinions.
Yeah, networking. Like I was at a convention. Both of us went all the way out to Anaheim and didn't even cross paths once.
No, dude, that's the same thing with me and Magog, which I actually knew Magog before we went to VidCon. But we kept missing each other every time. Like, I'd show up at a party, he just left, or he'd show up and I just left. We just kept missing each other.
Oh, he spent most of his time just chilling at my Airbnb, and I think it was the food I made, which I invited so many people over to eat, and barely anybody showed up, but they still fucking hoovered that shit right up. But then we went out to I'm gonna try and find it. We got drone footage and a bunch of photos still we got to produce. But Magog and I, along with Anahata Hearts, and you should get her on one of these days if she ever actually wakes up before 9 a.m. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, we all went out to see the Pacific Ocean for the first time. I'd never seen it. Magog never seen it. His Arkansas ass was complaining it was too damn cold, but he's standing there full makeup, contacts. He's got his robe on, and he's wearing these plaid swim trunks. Necromancer goes to the beach.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah, I love Magog, man. Like when he came on the scene and I first found his channel, I was like, man, this dude has got a vision. He's doing some different shit. Like he was the first person doing the kind of shit that he was doing that I've seen. And I don't know, when I was watching he did a channel update video where he was out of character on his channel recently. That's Jeremy. And he was just explaining what he was doing and what his vision was. I'm like, God damn it, dude. Like, go for it. I hope he's able to do what he wants to do.
Well, when I first, what was it, like when we promoted him on Saints, and it's actually becoming something of a meme because my channel is like still slowly dying thanks to the algorithm and shit. But like we promoted him, and he had like a fraction of the subs I had, and I ain't got shit. Like I was at my peak around like 27,000, and Magog's like, oh man, I hope someday I could get numbers like that. He's at 50-something thousand now. It's like, dude, no, of course you're going to outpace me. You put effort into what you do. That's clear.
Oh yeah. Well, anyways, guys, we're at the end. I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. It was good. Thanks everybody for watching, and thank you, D, for coming on.
Go be a patron of this dude. Go fucking patron his ass.
Yeah, you need to patron me.
How many YouTubers you know got a didgeridoo as decoration, huh?
That's right. I got a didgeridoo and a didgeridoo.
He's holding it hostage. He wants $50 dudes, or he's not giving it back.
And I also have a Negro puppet.
What the fuck?
Well, this was a nice run for this channel. We'll see you all manage to get around and get a new one.
And you know what his name is? His name is K3. Kenneth Keyshawn Kennedy. Get it? KKK? Oh, yeah. Right.
It was a good run. It was a good run, man.
I think we just got nuked in proximity. We're all done now.
I nearly had a YouTube career. I was so close. So close.
It's okay. You get used to realizing that your dreams are slowly going down the drain. Trust me. The worst thing.
Anyways, thanks guys for watching. We will see you later. And Red Eyes Gay.
Pitch guy.